Hello, thank you for listening to this episode of the Moore's October Rants. Today's rant is going to be titled, Why is Weird Bad? We live in society now where, people will talk about how you're weird and then they'll bring up how it's bad, because you're not talking or acting or behaving the way in society that they want you to act and behave. If you don't do something that's considered to be normal, you're going to be considered weird. But, even if you are considered weird, I don't understand why being weird always has to be labeled as a bad thing, Because like I said before, being weird is basically just acting different than everyone wants you to act. It's not conforming to the normalities of the world. And just because you don't conform to what's normal, I don't understand why that's considered to be a bad thing. Because, everyone has their own way of acting. And, every now and then, we'll probably act a certain way that will be considered to be weird. And, that's just how we're going to act. That's just what we want to do. And I don't understand why that's considered to be such a bad thing, as you talk to people. I was listening to a YouTube video and she was making these certain sounds and stuff because it was an ASMR video. And she was doing relaxing sounds for the microphone to people to relax. It's a certain type of video. And she was sorry if this gets a little weird. Sorry, if it gets weird. I'm like, who cares if it gets weird? People get so offended by that. If it gets weird, they're offended. Who cares? I don't understand why it's being weird is seen as such a bad thing in society, And, I would rather be weird than, conform to what's considered normal, Because I've already talked about on other videos, or I talked about it on one video, but I've talked about being weird on multiple videos, but on a recent video, I talked about how what's considered weird to one person could be considered normal to another person. So, I don't understand the whole weird thing. I've never understood that saying. I never understood any of it. And, I've said that before in the other video, it's not a bad thing to be weird. I don't know why people apologize for being weird. Just be who you are. And like Dr. Phil says, be who you are on purpose, Don't go out there reacting to the world in ways that, you think you shouldn't do or be fake, Go out there and act the way that you're supposed to act, Be the person that you think you're supposed to be, And just because, you're not acting in a certain way that you think other people should want you to act, Don't let that hold you back because who gives a shit if being weird is considered bad, I don't understand that. But also, I wanted to add another aspect, like I said earlier, who cares if it's considered bad, Because, in society, there's different things that go out of style, that go in style, Think of how, the world was 50 years ago, things that were considered to be normal now are considered to be weird now. So, who knows how things are going to change in 50 years from now, Everyone just loves to pinpoint things and try to say, this is weird, this is normal, this is weird, this is normal, and try to act like it's just so bad to be weird and, people apologizing for it. And, who the fuck is going to get offended over someone being weird? I understand it may be a little bit different and maybe you're not, used to it, but we've become such a society that likes to apologize for everything. And, I'm not going to apologize for acting a way that someone doesn't understand. It's just so stupid. And I don't understand in society, again, why it's so bad to be weird. Who gives a shit? People are people. But I don't want to make this rant the same thing over and over again because I can kind of, say things that I've already said a couple times and I don't want to repeat myself, but I'll end it by saying this. People are people. People should act the way they want to act, Obviously, you should think before you speak and think before you act and use common sense, but sometimes people just are a certain way and they can't help it and they're called weird. And you're not a bad person because you act different than what people expect you to do. You know, that doesn't make you a bad person. Being weird is it doesn't even really exist. You know, if you really think about it, acting weird is all made up in the human psyche. You know, like I said, what one person thinks is weird, another person thinks is fine. So it's really just made up by the person you're talking to. Like, they're going to make up in their mind what is weird and put it onto you. It doesn't really exist unless they tell you it. So, you know, just do what you need to do, be who you got to be, and fuck being normal. Really, fuck it. Anyways, again, thank you for listening to this episode of the Morris October Rants. Signing out. Have a good one, guys.